CDTL, I'm SlickPorcupine, and welcome back to another Season 2 Custom Creations. Today we have some really amazing stuff. So let's take a look at it. Let's kick things off. Let's roll. Our first build is from Aunt Rosa and 2199 Hannah, or just Hannah for short. They ended up creating a very rustic style house that is situated inside of a cliff of a mountain. This is actually a really nicely designed house, and the layout, they use the wood beams to lift it up. Also, for the house itself, you have window sills that have planters inside of them. As we transition inside the house, we get to see that it has that, again, very rustic appeal. Looking at the kitchen, it's sort of small, but it's very well designed, and it has the majority aspects that you would sort of expect, like a sink, a counter, a nice seating area, the cabinetry, and then even a fridge. And then we have a nice looking small bedroom area, which also leads out to the balcony at a later point, which is a really nice view. I got invited into the bathroom. Like any other guest, it looks like a really nice bathroom. There's a washing machine, there's a shower, there's a sink, a toilet. What else can you ask for? And like I said, from the bedroom, there's a door that leads out to the balcony with such a beautiful view. Oh my goodness. Well, our next build is from Kibo and, yet again, Hannah, who went out of their way to make a weird platform completely surrounded and filled with Magikarp heads. I have never encountered anything like this before, so I was a little taken back from it, but it's sort of that cool sort of approach to using custom heads in order to implement some sort of design and appeal to your builds. Even though this whole entire build may seem simplistic, it's really just, you know, calm and pleasing to look at, except being surrounded by multiple Magikarp that are just staring into your soul. Oh, wait, there's this nice little beach area with a nice little palm tree looking thing. Oh, wait, I guess there's, yeah. Carrying on to our next build, we have Demonic Paladin, who ended up creating a very large, highly detailed airship. Like, this is such a weird build to look at because we've never seen a large plane structure before. I know I called this a plane, but it's not really necessarily a plane. It's more of a battleship, airship type of thing. But imagining the amount of detail, the materials needed to build this, having the idea of the design, it's like, where do you even begin to structure this? On top of that, you're having to build it to scale, and then on top of that, you go even further with the composition of adding mini jets underneath it. I have to admit that this is a really top-notch build. The quality is there, so props to you, Paladin. Continuing on with another Demonic Paladin build, we're going to be looking at a very nice and elegant castle with a highly elegant and designed wall to match with it. Looking at the wall itself, we can see that there is a high contrast of color materials being used, but also the way how it's designed. It almost looks like a crown in a way, and it makes sense because there's a small castle inside of the walls, so it fits. But looking at the castle itself, it is really well made. I like the color combinations. I like the materials used because they help complement each other in such a way that helps make it pop. Unfortunately, the inside of this build is not complete, but it was really nice to look at throughout, and everything being put together. It is such a wonderful composition. Well done, well done. Well, you all should know him. I only said his name twice so far in this video. Yeah, again, another Demonic Paladin building. We are going to be looking at what I'm calling a magical spectral flying boat. Man, that's a mouthful. With a really interesting color combination, which is a nice color blend of blue and magenta, and then mixed in with the light blue of the sea lanterns and the white of the quartz. Looking at the boat, we can see that there is magical cannons on the sides, and then as we go to the back of the boat, we can see like this weird sort of hyper gate. And then finally, with a small little addition to the side, we can see a magical hot air balloon, which still follows the same suit as everything else in this composition. to our second to last build from Demonic Paladin. We are going to be looking at what is called a /warp move tutor. This area is sort of like a knockoff Atlantis sort of style or approach to the build, because it is partially underwater. Right now, just looking at the overall composition, the color combination, the materials used, this is such a nice, pleasing area to look at and walk around because it isn't harsh to look at. The glass flooring itself I really enjoy because it helps see the water portion, which again helps exemplify the concept of Atlantis. You can just simply look up through the roof to notice the outside. But overall, this is a really nice build to look at, and good job. Last build from Demonic Paladin. He had his work in for him this time around, so he got some help by one of his friends, Wizardly Builds, who both of them came together to create a mage tower. This is such a large area of a build to where I could not get it within frame, but at the same time I was asked to lower the frames. But looking at the overall composition of this build, we can see why it is a mage tower, because of how everything is situated, the color scheme. We even have someone who has the name Wizard. It just makes sense. I love the color combinations of all the purples. Everything put together is really nice. It's spicy. Oh, it's so good. And obviously, just looking throughout the whole entire tower, we can see that it definitely took them a lot of time to compose everything together. It must have been a really good project. It was really a great opportunity to be able to sit down and record this particular build. Our second to last build for today's episode is going to feature a really long mouthful of helpers, so bear with me. We have Yorick, Y, Miz, Listen Down, Rez, and Werth, who all came together to create what is known as /warp DShop over on PokeDash server. This is a very nature-eccentric, straightforward build style, featuring a nice open pond with a bunch of lily pads with nice flowers on top of them. So big thanks to Yorick Y and Listen Down for making those lily pads. Thank you to Rez for making these amazing, brilliant, and vibrant flowers that are laid out across this whole entire area. Then yet again, thank you to Yorick Y for making this giant tree with a bunch of vines hanging down around it. And as we take a flight around the whole entire area, we can imagine there's a lot of time and effort and creativity that went behind making every single aspect of this area. It is really nice to look at, and I wouldn't be surprised if this entire team comes together for more future projects. Finally, on to our last build, we have a big shout out to the entire PD staff team, or a majority of the PD staff team, for going out of their way to make an event build that is completely featured around Valentine's. Now, I know I'm a little late on this, but just hear me out. This whole entire build, or the composition, is made out of 23 million to 27 million blocks. Like, what? Taking a look at everything being put together from the individual builds, the amount of detail and structure, the color combinations, the materials used, everything just flows and seems to fit into the theme very well, such as the light colors of pinks and reds and even blues in there. But pretty much there's a bunch of small features throughout this entire composition, such as buildings, a giant tree, a couple of water fountains, some giant mushrooms, sort of like what you would expect from a Smurf village. We have giant butterflies. You have giant flowers as well. And like I said, everything is individually worked on and then brought into the composition in place, and they are put into fashion that it is completely mind-blowing and it's beautiful to look at. So congrats and big shout out again to the PD staff team. That wraps up yet again another amazing, top, spicy Custom Creations episode Season 2. You all have been smashing it lately in terms of both the builds and showing your support for the series and overall on the channel. Continue to be golden. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give that like button a good old smack. And until next time, as always, stay Slick fancy.